Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us for today's CTL online session. My name is Wasi Ahmed, and I'm working here as an associate professor at the Department of Chemical Engineering. Today, we are presenting why publish in impact factor journals, presented by Professor Yasin Ashrabi. Just a little housekeeping before we get started. If you have any questions during the presentation, please type them into the chat box. I will bring them up during the presentation, or we'll also have time for questions at the end. This CTL session presents why we need to publish a research paper in high impact factor journals. The impact factor of journal is a description of the influence the journal has in academic or university research circle. It is a measure of how often the average research article in a journal has been cited or used in other research in any particular year. Journals with high impact factor believed to be more important than those with the lower impact factor. Therefore, the researchers should target to publish their research work in high impact factor journal. Now, without further ado, we will turn the time over to Professor Yasin Ashrabi, our presenter today. He is currently working as a professor of atmospheric sciences, and he is also director of Center for Environmental Studies and Research at Sultan Qaboos University. He has received Master in 1997 and PhD in 2001 from Lille University of Science and Technology, France. His research interests are focused on atmospheric sciences for renewable energy, developing forecast observations of wind, solar resources, tools to improve the energy system's efficiency and sustainability through better understanding and modeling. Professor Yasin is a lead author and international expert with Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Changes. Over to you, Professor Yasin Ashrabi.
Thank you, Dr. Ahmed, for this nice presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Thank you very much to Dufaur University for this invitation. My thanks goes also to Dr. Khalid Mshikhi, who contacted me to deliver a speech about how to plan your research for publication in high impact journal. Also, I would like to welcome all colleagues from different disciplines who attend this presentation. And in the beginning of my presentation, I would like to emphasize that the main purpose of my presentation is to engage effective discussion about the process and the right pathways that lead researchers from young university like the Dufaur University to get published in high impact journal and making this young university more visible on the world research map. There is no need to inform you in my introduction that getting publishing in high impact journal become very hard. And with the increasing number of scientists publishing papers is getting harder every year. For example, if you take top Nature journal, which is the top high impact journal, the rate of acceptance, they dropped from 11% in 2000 to less than 6% in 2010. Sorry, just okay, if you can see my slides. Okay. Of course, my presentation is based on 15 key points, but I would like to mention that there is no magic power that guarantees that your paper or any paper will be accepted in high impact journal. But according to my experience, I believe that there is two important pillars at two different levels. The first one is the upstream, which is related to the research environment in the university itself, and at the downstream level, which is related to the responsibility of the researcher. My presentation is very important to mention that my presentation will focus on the downstream level. And my experience told me that this presentation can be delivered through 14 key points to maximize that your chance get published in high impact journal. Of course, we will start with short introduction, then we will move to the second section to give you some concise information about the practical step to get published in a high impact journal, what is the requirement for a good researcher. Then we move to what is the main concern that forbidden research to publish in high impact journal, research misconduct, what is the real definition of high impact journal. Then we will discuss what is, because here now with the era of abundance of information, we have some scientometric index to define high impact journal. Scientometric index related to the journal, the article, the author, and the publisher. Then we will move talking about predatory journal and publishing, because it became very major issue during the last 5 years. Then we will give you an idea about the common and the most trusted publisher all over the world. Then we will talk about the top ranking university in 2019 and the top H-index scientists around the world in 2019. And we will conclude with a concise presentation. I'm pretty certain that publishing research paper in high impact journal can open the door to any researcher who would like to climb the ladder of any career and to get prestigious grants and to get position in high reputable journal. And of course, can be invited to international good conference. High impact journal, there is no clear definition about high impact journal, but high impact journal are the world real garden of the scientific exploration. And the aim of this impact journal is to get to have the most recent knowledge and the most recent scientific knowledge after a long process of examination and authentication. In other words, high impact journal want research paper that have scientific contribution and impact, and of course to open the door to other publication based on what have published before. Because here high impact journal, they are looking for authenticity and originality, and this is what will contribute to the accumulation of knowledge and open the door to innovation and discussion with other journals. Now, the most important question: how to get published in high impact journal? I think my long experience of 20 years told me that we have 5 tips that can help any researcher to get published in high impact journal. But before that, I would like to emphasize to something which is related to the environment of Oman. No doubt that all researchers, all university in Oman are teaching university with the different degree of focus on research. It means all the researchers here in Oman, they have very limited time to focus on research, because our university are teaching university. But we have some techniques and some strategy that can ensure that your work has the chance to get published in high impact journal. 5 tips according to Elsevier platforms. Here, the first one, we start about the manuscript. Before preparing your manuscript, we have to ask yourself 4 questions. My research, is it new? We can Google your idea and find if there is something has published before or not. And what is the results? What is the expected results from my work? And if these results will influence other researchers, and if my work also will provide solution to some difficulties, or just it's literature review based on work done before, or its case studies. In this case, if you would like to go for case studies, the chance that your paper get published in high impact journal is very, very limited. Of course, if you answer to this question with yes, we can move to the second stage, which is the preparation of the manuscript. It means the first question is related to the originality and authenticity of your work. If you feel that your work is original, not done before, we can move to the second question, to the second steps, which is the preparation of the manuscript. The manuscript here should have clear message. We should respect the format of the publisher, and we should have concise and clear abstract. And of course, we can move to writing your story, because the manuscript it's in simple way, it's to tell the audience your story. The third step is to write good cover letter. And according to my experience, usually all the author, they don't write a good cover letter. Usually what they send, it's two sentences. Dear editor, I send you my manuscript for possible publication in your journal. But we need to inform, because usually the publisher, they will not read all your manuscript. The publisher only, they will read the abstract, and they will go through the verification of the authenticity of your work. Then they will decide. But usually a cover letter that will help the editor to get a good idea about your work and if your work fit to this journal or not. It's very important to write a good cover letter and to focus on this cover letter on the question you set and you would like to address in your work, and to explain what is the results that you get, and to clarify to the editor that your work is original, not done before. It's very important to write good cover letter, and of course, in this cover letter, you explain the authenticity of your work, the originality of your work, and to inform him clearly that this manuscript need to be evaluated for possible publication in this journal. The fourth key point to get published in high impact journal is to write an effective results section. An effective results section is an easy way to summarize all the findings and to provide a big picture about your work. And here it's very important also about the results section that you need to discuss your results that you have developed before, and to make the story very, very clear using table and using figures according to the requirement of the publisher. The fifth point that you need to emphasize on it's the reference here. For the reference here, we need to avoid putting a lot of reference. We need to avoid to put your previous publication. And also we need to avoid excessive citation of publication from the same region. We need to put the most recent reference, and we need to make sure that that your reference involve all the most effective publication in the field, because sometimes some researcher in their publication, they don't put the most recent reference, or they avoid the reference that has some relationship with their work. For this reason, we need to make everything clear. We need to follow very careful approach for putting this reference. Sorry, we need, okay. Of course, here we cannot talk about only the fifth tips that I have mentioned before. Usually, usually the best way to get published in high impact journal is to work on teamwork. The teamwork is the key for to exchange the information and to get what we call. Because teamwork often helpful in tackling complex and important problem. They help also to produce better work. because we need to use the skills from each other. For example, you are good in analysis, your colleague is good in writing. This is very important that we have this teamwork and to exchange notes. And of course, the most important advantage of the teamwork research is the opportunity for our members to learn from each other. This is very, very important because the collaboration they will speed the production of the paper, and they will guarantee that your paper has a better chance to be accepted in high impact journal. Now we will move to an important step, which is the essential requirement for the most important requirement for a good researcher. Researchers have the responsibility to communicate their research, to collaborate with other where appropriate, and to export and to transfer and export knowledge for the benefit of the university, the economy, and the society as whole. Researchers have a lot of responsibility in terms of honesty, ethical in the course of their research, and to avoid 6 concerns. The first one is gift authorship. This is a gift of authorship. It means you put name of research who did not collaborate or who did not participate in this research. Plagiarism, it's well known what is plagiarism. We will come back later on about the definition of a plagiarism. Fabrication of data, falsification, conflict of interest, duplicate publication. This is the misbehavior. For example, in Sultan Qaboos University, we have a policy that about the misbehavior related to gift authorship, plagiarism, fabrication, falsification, conflict of interest, and duplication of publication, because those concern or those issues, they damage the career and they damage the image of the university. Publishing a scientific paper involves interaction with author, editor, reviewer, and this long process, of course, is not easy. We have to go through this long process, and the timeline to get published in high impact journal, it's between year to and 1 year. 1 year and a half is not an easy process, because now we have to go through the first reviewer, the second reviewer, the third reviewer, language checker, plagiarism checker, and after that to get published. It means it's a long process, and you have to prepare yourself to go through all these obstacles. And now we would like to talk about research misconduct. Research misconduct is the definition of research misconduct is the violation of the standard code of scholarly conduct and ethical behavior in publication of in scientific research. Of course, here we have the most common feature of research conduct is plagiarism, and here we have 4 types of plagiarism. Direct plagiarism, it's a word-of-word transcription of your work. Or self-plagiarism occur when researcher submit his or her previous work. Mosaic plagiarism occur when the research borrow phrases from other sources, and accidental plagiarism occur when the person neglected to cite their sources. But this is not only this research conduct, because if we follow what we call what we call the website check plagiarism, they developed a study, authenticate, they developed, or Turnitin platform, they developed 10 types of plagiarism, because now the common form of the research misconduct is plagiarism. But in the era of the abundance of information and data mining, there are several tools for checking plagiarism. For example, here Turnitin, which is used in Sultan Qaboos University, they developed 10 other types of plagiarism: clone, Control-C, find, replace, remix, recycle, hybrid, mashup, 404, error, RS, fed, retweet. It means now those platforms, they are very, very sophisticated platform to discover all type of an original work. It means here, when you submit your work, Most of the, for example, the platforms, they use those software, Turnitin, Authenticate mainly, to discover this type of misconduct. For this reason, it's very, very important to make sure or you have access to those software, to those platforms like Turnitin or Authenticate to check the quality of your work before the final submission to the journal. No need to emphasize that research misconduct damage the image of the university at the first level. And of course, here, as I told you before, in SQ, we have misconduct policy for staff, and with very severe penalty in case of plagiarism. And usually now what we do of course, we take care about this research misconduct in terms of renewal contract or recruiting new staff. Now after this long introduction here, we would like to move to the definition of high impact journal. Of course, here we are in jungle with, it's kind of jungle with the different platforms now, but there is no single definition or agreed definition about high impact journal. The publisher have developed a panel of scientometric index for measuring and analyzing scholar literature. And here, because usually high impact journal is defined based on impact factor, but we'll discover is not enough to get published in high impact journal. We need that your researcher has some citation after the publication. This is the most common type of scientometric index here. The problem that during the last decade, we have proliferation of index, and currently each publisher has its own scientometric index, and is not easy for beginner researcher to understand how we can use these indices to judge the quality of the journal. The scientometrics can be classified here as article level metrics, author level metrics, and journal level metrics. Here we will see later on. We will start here with the journal scientometer index, which is the most common index, which is journal impact factor. Here, journal impact factor is prepared by Journal Citation Report, which is rated to Reuters platforms. It's the Bridge platforms. The impact factor is the average number of time your article is cited from the total. For example, if you take the impact factor for 2020, it's the total citation in 2010, depending on the published paper in the 2 years, 2019, divided by the total number of published paper in 2018 and 2019. Here, this is the impact factor, which is calculated by GCR. You will discover later on, this is not only the only index used to evaluate high impact journal. We have also journal quartile, which is divided by Elsevier, which is completely different from the impact factor journal of GCR. In Sultan Qaboos University, we use journal quartile, for example, to judge the quality of your research. And the journal quartile is Q1, which is the top 25, Q2, 25 to 50%, Q3, and Q4. And of course here, for the journal, of course here for the journal quartile, which is used by SQ, because it's open source. For the Journal Citation Report impact factor and the classification and ranking of a journal, we have to pay to get those information. Journal Sultan Qaboos University, they opt for a journal quartile because it's open source, and they can check the quality of their researcher during the renewal of contract or recruitment based on the Elsevier platforms. We have another indices which is related to the article scientometrics, which is the MLDC index. It means MLDC index is the average number of time an article cited in year after its publication. It means here to judge the quality of the work and the originality. If your work is original, is not case studies, your work will be will be cited in short times, and the number of citations will increase rapidly. For this reason, there is an indices which is a Medici index, but is not too much used. But it's kind of scientometric which is to judge the quality of your work. We have another indices, which is H indices, which is very common and highly and is very largely used by researcher and university. An H index, it's combination between the productivity and the citation impact. Here, this index was developed by Giorgio in 2005 in order to evaluate the quality of the work and the number of citations. It means here the H index is kind of correlation between the number of citations based on Scopus and the number of published paper, and you will get an indices. Here you can see the correlation, and for example here the correlation between the number of citations based on Scopus and the number of published paper. For example, here you will see that the H index it's 4, and you will see later on that this H index we have an H index related to Google database. We have another H index related to Babylon, which is related to GCR Reuters. We have another H index related to Scopus. It means based on the platforms they calculate your citation, you have your own H index. We have also another indices to evaluate the quality of your work, which is the Publisher Scientometric Index. Here, we for example, here in Oman, we use the Sebago Journal and Country Rank here. It's a database which is publicly available, and in this database is based on Scopus. This database is developed by Elsevier, and the information is open. It means we can most of all university in the region and in Oman use this database to evaluate the journal, to evaluate the country, and to get more visible about the research folks of the university. And this kind of tools is very useful to evaluate the quality of your work. It means how many times your work has been cited, because it's stressful. Is not like Google Scholar open. It's very trustful, and they have its own database. Sebago Journal, they do an evaluation of the journal. For example, in 2015, we have 57 journal was removed from this database because due to violation of the ethics of the publication. The evaluation of ethics publication, it means one of the most common evaluation of publication is predatory journal. What does it mean, predatory journal? Predatory journal and publishing, it means you pay to get published. You pay to get published. It means we have proliferation of this predatory journal all over the world during the last 5 years. And this is a major concern. Major concern for young university or beginner or a new researcher to get, it means it's very easy to publish in this predatory journal since you pay for the open access. But in reality, behind this open access, there is no evaluation, there is no evaluation, there is no judgment of the quality of the work. It's just you pay to get published. And we have a professor from University of Colorado who coins the term of predatory journal in 2010. Who is the first who prepared what we call the Beall's list. And this list is regularly updated because they scrutinize the journal and the publisher who don't respond to the ethics of scientific research. Because now in the last 10 years, we don't talk about predatory journal and publishing, but also we talk about predatory also conferences. Now, for example, conferences here, a lot of my colleagues, they participate in this conference, and when they go to attend, they will find 1 or 2 participants. And sometimes they told me that the participants, they are the worker of the hotel itself. For example, here now in Sultan Qaboos University, we developed a policy here about the conference, the predatory conference, and they started this year preparing a list of the predatory journal. Predatory journal, it means for any staff who would like to present his file for promotion, for contract renew, for appointment, they go through very careful process for examination about his publication and the conference where he go. As you can see here in this slide, the number of predatory journal, they increase from year to year. 2013, we have, according to the bill list, 126 journal, and we moved to 2016 to 882, and the number, they increase year to year because it's become very lucrative business. Just you create a website and you create fake list of editor, and you pay to get your work published, but it's really predatory journal and predatory conference. What is the most common trusted publisher all over the world? Of course, here we have different disciplines, but here the number 1 is IEEE for engineering, Association for Computer Machinery for computer science, Springer, which is one of the most important and the leading platform of publishing. Well, Elsevier Institute and IET, Institute of Engineering and Technology, Science and Technology Press, etc. Tyler Francis, Sage Publication. This is the most common trusted all over the world, and our library here in Sultan Qaboos University work with those publishers. As I told you before, we based on Simago platforms. Simago platforms, every year they develop a ranking of the country based on the cited document, citation, self-citation, because they have very accurate system for detection of the publication in high impact journal, and based on the high impact journal, they calculate some indices and they provide a ranking. For example, here in SQ, we are in the rank is 84. The top university in Middle East is, I think, Tel Aviv University, and the second position we'll find King Abdullah University. This is one of the top scientists, the top country in the Middle East. We have we have another type of ranking, which is the ranking of the university, which is very important for any university. Here, for example, as you can see here in this slide, the top Arab university, King Abdullah, and Sultan Qaboos University is the rank 85 and they will see between brackets 7 to 7. This is the number of the publication exactly per year. We have another indices here for the scientists around the world. It's open source, but here the H-index is calculated based on Google Scholar. And you can see here the scientists all over the world who have H-index more above 200. Here is completed. Here the H-index is calculated based on Scholar citation platforms, which is more expanded comparing to Publon platforms related to GCR or Reuters, and comparing to scopes of Elsevier. I would like to conclude here about the impact factor journal will be likely around us for a long time. It's an important key to understand how they work. Because journal impact factor, it's an important indices, but is not only the only indices that exist. Publishing in high impact journal is very important for the career and to get your publishing to get your work published in high impact journal. You need to work on teamwork, to develop collaboration with other university. And the most important thing is related to the research environment in the university itself. This is very important because if you don't have the good research environment in terms of the research environment is related to the incentive for the researcher, is related to the grant for the researcher, is related also to the teaching load because for a teaching university, when you have high teaching load, we cannot guarantee that you have enough time to focus on research and to develop very good research with high quality that guarantee your work will be published in high impact journal. This is very, very important because as I told you in the beginning of my presentation that I will focus on the downstream, which is related to the researcher, but also the upstream, which is related to the university. It's very, very important. And in the environment of teaching university, it's very, very difficult. Also, we are in Sultan Qaboos University, we have some incentive, but we are struggling to find time to focus on our researcher and to produce high quality journal to produce high quality publication. I would like to finish with this slide in order to present my profile. I crossed 5,000 citation in December based on collaboration with researchers from other reputable university. As you can see here, we have different platforms. They detect your profile and they calculate your H-index based on their criteria. And of course, to exist in these platforms, we need to work hardly, and we need to work hard not only in terms of finding the good idea, but in terms of attracting grant nationally and internationally. Thank you very much for this for your attention for my presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Yassin. Take some time for.
I didn't hear you. Sorry.
Sorry. Thank you very much, Professor Yassin. And now we will go ahead and take some time for questions. Okay, if you have any questions, please just type in the chat box. Okay. Cannot hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. Please go ahead.
Yes. Okay. If anyone has questions, please.
Sorry, if you have any question.
If you have any question, I mean, am I audible for you?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah. So if anyone has question, you can just type it, please. Thank you, Dr. Moaz. It's very clear for us. As I can see, there is no question, Professor Yasin.
Okay, thank you very
It's
much.
very clear cut presentation for us that that how we will publish a high impact factor journal. Really, it's difficult to find some innovative ideas. And
yeah, it's not easy because as I told you, as I mentioned in my presentation, it's we are talking about the research environment, not only because publishing it's the end of the process. Before that, we have to look to the environment where we are working. If you don't have time, if there is no incentive, if there is no lab, if there is no grants, if there is no research assistant, it's very difficult to find yourself publishing in high impact journal. It's a whole process.
yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Very much. And this is all about from CTL for this semester. And we hope so. We will see you in the next semester, inshallah.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Bye.